back to my channel. This is Nanepia. You can also call me Mom24 Voice. On this channel I cover my lifestyle and also advices and help, anything in between. So today, what am I here for? All right, so today I'm here to discuss a topic people ask me all the time. So people contact me on Facebook, on WhatsApp, sometimes Instagram, and it looks like their questions is sort of the same, around the same, questions. So I decided to come and address it all. Before I say that, I would like to say a big thank you to people who just joined my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time. So if you are old here, welcome back. If you are new, you are welcome. Okay, so today, yes, I'll say this again. If you have any question, do not hesitate. Just put them in the comment section down below, and as always, I'll come and answer you. Okay, because I'm very current. Okay, I just keep up with people who are on my platform. Okay, so just put the comment questions, anything you have in the comment section down below, and I'll come and answer you. All right, so today the topic, questions people ask me in my inbox is Australia the best place for you to live? And sometimes they also ask questions like, what are the best places for them to live, apart from Australia? And unfortunately, I cannot answer that question, and the reason is I can only talk about where I've lived. As I said in my last video, we came here in 2003, so we lived in Australia for a very long time. So if I have to talk about any country, it is going to be here. Other countries, I've been to UK before, and I spent only 2 weeks in UK, so I cannot say much about the UK. Just for a visit, I went to visit my husband's niece. I was going to Ghana, so I thought it's going to be a good idea for me to pass or to go through there, so I would know what UK look like. And I've been to Hong Kong before. I spent about 5 weeks in Hong Kong, and in that place too, because of the language barrier as well, I didn't learn much. Even though, yes, there's a lot of shopping. Okay, I did a lot of shopping. Things are very, very reasonable prices, so that was really a plus for me. But I cannot say much. And other places that I did not spend much time there, so I can't talk much about that. What I have in-depth info is Australia, so we are going to discuss if this place is the best place for you to live. In my opinion, to begin with, I would say it is the best place for you to live. And everywhere you go, there are ups and downs. So by all means, you get something negative that you wouldn't like, and this is not limited to Australia alone. Wherever you go, okay. So let's start from here. We came here in 2003, and sometimes people ask you, how long have you been in Australia? And you tell them I've been here since 2003, and they go, oh, you are Aussie. So it's been a while. It's been a long time, so I can't say much about this place. It's a very beautiful place for you to live. Let me start from life itself. Okay, back home, I don't know where you are, but I am a Ghanaian, and where I come from, sometimes people talk to you about countries or living in developed countries and first world country. Let me put it this way. There are some things that we heard, and we came here, and it is not really that much compared to what people were saying. A typical example is it's going to be, for example, people were saying something like, when you travel to a developed country, sometimes if you are lost and you are looking for a direction, nobody will even mind you. Nobody will even have the time to stand there and tell you this is where for you to go. But then I realized this place, even if you ask a very young person where to go, they will have the time for them to explain exactly where you need to know to get to the place. So it was a bit strange to learn things like that from Africa, and then you come here and it is actually not like that. But I went to Hong Kong, and that is when I was like, it was a very sad experience, probably because of the language barrier. You stop somewhere and asking the person where the train station is, because I went somewhere and I couldn't find my way back to the train station. I wanted to get back to my hotel, and I'm not being exaggerative, or I'm not exaggerating. About 10 people I asked, the minute you start going to their faces to go and ask them, they will go, you do this, and then just walk past you. So even though I've experienced it before, but it is not here in Australia. People are really nice. They will just spend their time and show you where to go, and make sure you are okay. And that is what I like about Australians. So their human relation, in some way, it is really good. When it comes to, let's talk about education. Okay, I came here as I said in 2013, and when I came here, I just finished high school, and I started doing I went to School of Mines. I wanted to get into School of Mines and things. So I didn't actually sort of finish university before coming here. But then that was what I was doing back home in Ghana. So I decided to come here and continue. And coming back, coming from Africa, thinking, how getting into the universities or in the education system is really hard. Even if you pass everything, and if it's you don't know, it is actually whom you know. If you don't know people, getting into the institution, into the universities are really hard for you to get into. But here it's not like that. There's a lot of pathways, for you to get into the university. So I will say that whatever you want to become here in Australia, it doesn't really matter where your background is coming from. You can, as long as you are very serious and you are very focused on what you're doing. I came here and I started from doing assistant nursing, and if you know me, I'm just the go-go person. If I want to do something, I just want to do it to get to the top level. So I started doing the certificate 3 and certificate 4. Apparently, when you do the certificate 4 in assistant nursing, you become their team leader, and that is what I wanted to do. So I did. It took me about 7 months for me to do that, and I got a job, in one of the nursing home here as an assistant nurse, because I knew where I was going, and the universities here are really nice. I mean, if you know your path, if you know where you are going, if you have something set up for you to do, all you need to do is to go to the university, just sit them down, and they are going to explain everything to you. So I went to the university to sit them down. This is what I want to do. I want to get into this university to do nursing and things like that. Okay, this is what you have. You come from Africa, you didn't attend your high school and things like that here. So this is where you have to start from here and start from here and start to. They gave me a lot of options. So you decide as to where you have to start from. I could have gone to the university straight away, but because I've never done health before, I just wanted to start from somewhere to know where, what is it like. So if I started a certificate 3 and certificate 4 and I didn't like it, probably I will not even proceed to go to the university and become a registered nurse now. So I started from, like a training school, Red Cross. They are really nice at that time. I don't know if they do that anymore. You don't have to pay anything as long as you are a migrant. You are qualified to go to that school. You are not going to pay anything. I'm not really sure what, if you're an international student, I'm not really sure if you have the opportunity to get into their program. But we were permanent residents, so we were qualified to do that. So I did 7 months certificate 3 and certificate 4. And I started working. So whilst I was working, I enrolled myself. I went to the university, which I studied in Griffith University for about a year, and I wanted to do Bachelor of Nursing and Health Science. So I wanted to do double degree, but I wasn't given the chance to do the double degree at the university where I was, which is Griffith University. So I have to transfer my course back to Queensland University of Technology to continue my studies, where I was given the opportunity to do the double degree, like the degrees together, Bachelor of Nursing and Health Science. So I finished up having the Bachelor of Nursing and Bachelor of Health Science, which international health is my major. Yes, so there's a part with someone who comes from Africa, you have the African background when it comes to education, but you came here, there was a lot of opportunities, a lot of pathways for you to go through to become who you want to become. And yes, so when I started working, I enrolled myself, as I said, and I finished my double degree in 4.5 years. Apparently you have to use 5 years to finish, but I was enrolling 5 subjects every semester. I just wanted to get it done to see what I can do. You don't have to do that. You can do it part-time, whatever work for you. Okay, whatever suits your life balance, that is what you have to do. But yes, I have a supportive, sort of husband who supported my kids and everything. So I was able to do the double degree. So I did the double degree, and I finished in 2010, and I was registered to become a registered nurse. Initially, I started working in the health science side. I got like a project. I did about 1 or 2 projects, and because it's a contract, contracts are really if you don't have the heart for contract, because if the contracts are finishing, what are you going to do? So I decided to move into the nursing, whereby every fortnight you can see something coming to your account. Yeah, so I had both degrees, which to me, I think when I'm in Ghana, there's no way I will be able to get that opportunity, you know, to go to the universities and do this, you know. So when it comes to education, it is really, really good. And we came here and we had kids. All the kids were put into schools, and it was good schools as well. So all the schools, what I like about the schools are, you know, back home where I come from, I can only talk about Ghana. Schools are, you know, like in classes. You know, you have a top class which they will send their kids to private schools, and you know, sometimes the middle class and things like that. But when you come here, everything is different. Even though there's a private schools and things here, people are paying, but the private school and the state school, there's no much of a difference at all. Sometimes even the state school is even better. Where my two kids, I attended Brisbane State High, which is one of the state school, but it's one of the highest state school that most private schools are not even up to their standard, if that makes sense. So the equity is here. I would say that the equity is here, and you know, everybody is treated, you know, equally. So when it comes to education, that is what it is, if that's what you want to do. I know people really want to know about work, because if you are coming from Africa, you just think about, you know, if you're going to get the work, you know, for you to work and for you to, you know, save some money. Working here is not a problem, but then you know, we've been here since 2003, and over the years things are changing now. I remember when I finished my assistant nursing, and for some reason at that time I didn't know how the system works, so I was so surprised. I got messages, about 4 of them. That time it was, they will send you a letter in your inbox. So I got 4 letters in my inbox requesting me to come and work for them, and I was like, I have not applied for any job, so how come? Not knowing the Red Cross took you know, qualifications and everything to the nursing homes and things like that, you know, to the hospitals, and then the hospital contacted you. Under normal circumstance, you have to apply for a job, but then they will contact you and like, come for interviews and things like that. So I remember calling my mom. I was like, you know what, I have 4 job opportunities here, which one should I choose? And then my mom is like, you know, her being a Christian, she is one of the Pentecostal nurses. She's like, go to Baptist Care, because that is where God is. So I went for the interview there, and I went for the interview in all these places, and I got all of them. But then I decided to work for Baptist Care, so I stayed there for about 6 years. So just imagine at that time. But then it is not like that anymore. Okay, we've been here for almost 18 years now. Sorry, and it is not like that anymore. Things keep on changing, and I think that's the reason why things are changing. Is before, you know, people were not in the country that much. Now a lot of people are migrating from other places. So getting a job, I'm not going to say it is really hard for you to get a job. No, that's not what I'm going to say. But it is not like before, whereby they will even contact you, like, you know, job you know, firms will, you know, hospitals or nursing homes will contact you. This time around, you have to apply for the job and, you know, wait for whenever they call you to come for the interview. So in total, I'll put everything together and say, looking for a job here, it is not as compared to other places, which again, I've not been to those places before, but it's a hearsay, you know, finding job from other places are very, very difficult. Here you are going to find the job that you want, but then it will take you some time, some couple of steps. Especially, I can only talk about nursing and health. Now I think what every employer in nursing want is, you know, you have an experience. But having said that, if you just finish university, where are you going to get the experience to, you know, for you to get into the job that you want? So now, as long as you have the experience, you are good to go. However, how are you going to get into it? And I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of people finish university as help, like, you know, nursing students, they finish university and it's really hard for them to get jobs. So they move into the agencies with their you know, university experience. Even though they've been to clinical placement and things like that, but then fresh from university, sometimes you need the support, and that is what Australian government provided, like the grad program. And unfortunately, a couple of people get into the grad program, so the other, you know, other students, they have to figure out a way for them to, you know, have a job, employment, for them to be employed. So you know, they will have something to do. And I think that is where the hard part is, because for you to get a job, before, the agency will just accept you for you to start working, but now apparently I've been hearing some agencies also want some experience. So if you're a student, how are you going to do that? But at the end of the day, every student gets everywhere to go. It is going to be a little bit hard, you know, not a little bit hard, because some employees will want people with experience where you come from the university fresh. So that's what sometimes, you know, it makes it a bit hard, but then eventually you get a job. So finding a job, I don't think, compared to other places, to me, Australia here is better. And again, I've not been to other places, so I can only talk about this place. You by all means get a job, okay, and once you get into the nursing, once you get a job and get into the nursing field, and you have the experience, the whole Australia is open to you as well. So it makes it really, really, you know, fun. So yes, so that is what I can say about, you know, when it comes. People will also ask about, you know, raising kids here in Australia. Again, back home in Ghana, we heard a lot of things, you know, about, you know, raising kids in overseas. You know how Africans raise their kids when you come to overseas. They have the right to do whatever they want. We heard all that, everything back home. But then here in Australia, even though that is what it is, they have the right and everything, but they also believe in raising up a child in a good way, if that makes sense. So compared to what we heard before in Africa, where kids are very wayward and they talk back and things like that, I have never experienced that here, you know, in Australia. And having said that, I am not in every home for me to sit here and say that, but then it is not that bad, because I mean, we work in hospitals and we meet a lot of people, and we meet young people, we meet old people. People have like sort of good behavior, and you can see people coming to the hospital with their family, and the kids have this good behavior, you know, very respectful and very nice. So me knowing that, you know, tells me that, you know, whatever people hear, or you know, about, you know, moving into developed countries, you know, kids are all over the place and things like that. I'm not here in Australia. As for that one, I can say that, not here in Australia. But then it all comes to parenting as well. I mean, you know, you give birth to your kids and you have to raise them up in a good way, but then not in you know, in a very harsh, you know, ways that our parents brought us up back home in Ghana. And I think that is why a lot of Africans have issues, because, you know, where we come from, I mean, if I tell you what my mom did to me and I turn up okay, but then, you know, bringing up kids, if you are very, very loving, I know our mothers are loving, but then without the, you know, also work really well. We didn't sort of believe in that, so we didn't bring, probably maybe back home when in Ghana, whenever they do things like that, we try to correct them. But when we came here, we realized that you just have to, you know, talk to them. They are human beings, they are not stupid, they will understand you. We use that, and I believe I can say our kids also turn up okay. And having said that, you know, every child, even though they come from the same womb, people are different. You know, people have these characters whereby they have been born with it. It is, you know, it is in the bloodstream. That is who they are. Things like that are there, and there's nothing you can do about that. So it totally depends on how the parents are going to go about it. So sometimes we don't have to solely blame where the person lives as the basis of who the person is, if that makes sense. So we the parent, I believe we the parent, if you bring your kids up, like if you know, you have children, it's the responsibility solely belong, the responsibility solely, you know, lie on us as to how your parenting skills is. So you don't blame any country for making your child who you do not want them to be, if that makes sense. Yes, so that is why I can say it's a very calm country, it's a very respectful country. That is my experience. Having said that too, you know, everywhere, wherever you go, there's going to be their negatives and their positives. So people also you know, would like to know if you know, the race and the racism and things like that are here. As for that one, yes, it is also here, but not totally, not as strong as other places. you can feel it. Okay, you can feel it. Sometimes you are treated differently, you can feel it. As for that one, I'm not going to lie about that. You can feel it, but not everybody is like that. You can meet beautiful people. When I started working in Baptist care, I met this lady who eventually adopted me as the daughter. She's the loveliest person you can meet. She took my kids as her grandkids. Sometimes both of us would do night duty, and then she wouldn't sleep. She would drive from where she is to my place. It's about an hour. She would just drive and come and pick the boys so I can sleep. So you have all these beautiful people in the country as well. Okay, so in a nutshell, living in this place is a really, to me it's a really beautiful place for, you know, for you to live. And you know, life itself, if you are very serious about what you are doing, I mean, there's a lot of people who came here who are happy where they are. They want to enjoy life, they want to, you know, there are people like that. But then if you're also serious where we come from, if you want to do something, if you know what I mean, save up, do something, you know, push yourself out there. The opportunities are there. The opportunities are there for you to access. So I would say it is the best place for you to live. Bringing up kids, educating yourself, getting a job, and life itself, to me it is the best place, you know, for you to live. So if I have not covered anything and you still want to know, don't forget, put them in the comment section down below. If I see that, you know, there's a lot of things for me to talk about, I'll come up with another video and I will talk about it as well. But for now, this is all I have to say today. If you want to migrate to Australia, I think it is the best place for you to, you know, sort of consider. Other places are also going to be best, but as I said, I cannot say much because I've not been to those places before. I've not lived in those places for a very long time. For a visit, if you go to some place for just a visit, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, there's no way you are going to know, you know, who they are, what they do, and things like that. So I can only talk about Australia. So if you have any idea of migrating anywhere, just, you know, Australia is also should be one of the, you know, countries for you to think about. Yeah, so I hope all the questions has been answered. If not, put them in the comment section down below and I will be here, you know, to answer all the questions for you. Okay, my name is Daneke Abuachwa. You can also call me Mom to 4 boys, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.